Today was the memorial for all of those who had died. Mark stepped out of his room, and people stared at him. They'd probably seen the videos and pictures. Mark and his old platoon, nicknamed the Triple Twos, had risen to fame by being the tip of the EMF's attack at Harmony. Someone in the Ministry of Intelligence had turned them into heroes with the right touch-ups on films and creative licensing. Mark didn't care. He was a trooper. He'd signed his life away to Earth's military forces nearly 130 years ago. For 11 years he had fought on different planets. The rest he'd been stuck in cryosleep, like freighted cargo to the next battle. Earth and Her Colonies was a nice title for what should have been Earth and Its Companies. Corporations owned everything, down to the individual planets that colonists lived on. Colonists worked for the corporations, churning out whatever product the system specialized in, and everyone was happy. That is, until some colonist starts getting pissed with the status quo, throws a hissy fit and rebels. That's when the EMF come wading in. They're the corporation's guard dogs. Many colonist rebels gave up their fight as soon as a carrier entered their system. If they didn't, then the troopers would come down and clear the planet of any aggressive forces. When Mark and his brother Tyler joined up, it had been with a neat idea. Join the EMF, tour the universe, get paid, maybe get a retirement, and fight less than he had back in the slums. Their first drop had been on Sacramon, one of the rare engagements that the EMF had had with the colonists they kept in line. By the time EMFC Reclaimer, his carrier, had left the system, more than 80% of their original trooper complement were dead on Sacramon. They'd gone back to Earth, thinking that they would never see anything like Sacramon again. It probably would have gone that way if Harmony, a group that promised to overthrow the corporations and put the people back into power, hadn't started shaking their sabers at Earth and her colonies. "Hey, Jerome," Mark said, walking up on his friend as he stepped out of his quarters. He'd made second lieutenant and got his own platoon to command. Mark knew that he hadn't achieved the same rank because people were making noises about his drinking and his comments. Telling a colonel to go fuck himself did not go down with the upper ranks. It will also get you banned from the officers' mess, and their better booze, Mark thought. "Hey, Mark." Jerome looked him over, nodding to himself, assessing that Mark was sober and looking presentable. Jerome, like Tyler, was Mark's brother, even though none of them shared a drop of the same blood. "You with us from now on?" Jerome asked, as they continued on towards the flight deck. "Are you going to be crawling into the drink again?" "For today," Mark said. Tomorrow, or after midnight, he couldn't make any guarantees. Jerome nodded. He didn't judge. Mark had seen more than most people. He slapped Mark on the back, telling him that he was there if Mark needed him. Saying the actual words would have been embarrassing for them both. They were troopers. They'd drop into hell if their paymasters whipped them enough, and after their friends at a moment's notice. Admitting something was wrong would allow one to start seeing the cracks in the EMF establishment. "You hear about the new training schedule?" Jerome asked, pulling away from the touchy subject. "No." Mark checked his implants, skimming through the regular junk to see if there were any important updates. "Exactly. There aren't any. They want us to take them into Fernix with virtually no training in the powered armor. Seems that someone wants to save credits by putting us under," Jerome snorted. "Fucking credit-pinching fuckers," Mark said, sighing and shaking his head. "Got that right. So any training we do is now coming out of our pay. Bastards are making us pay for being awake. If it's for more than a month, then we have to pay an additional fee, as they say they will need to do more medical procedures on us. As if they don't already grow all the supplies they need to put us back together in the grow."